The biblical verses extracted from the text are 1 Corinthians 14:33. Luke 23:23 insistently demanded that he be crucified, and their shouts prevailed. Acts 12:21, Niv. On the appointed day Herod, wearing his royal robes, sat on his throne and delivered a public address to the people. Acts 12:22 shouted, "This is the voice of a God, not of a man." Acts 12:23, Niv. Immediately, because Herod did not give praise to God, an angel of the Lord struck him down, and he was eaten by worms and died. The Herod in Acts 12-23 is Herod Agrippa I, also known as King Herod Agrippa. Key information. He was the grandson of Herod the Great and nephew of Herod Antipas. He ruled over Judea and surrounding regions from AD 41 to 44, appointed by Roman Emperor Claudius. His actions included persecuting early Christians. He executed James, brother of John, and imprisoned Peter. His death, as described in Acts 12:23 and corroborated by Jewish historian Josephus, occurred after he accepted divine praise from a crowd without giving glory to God. He was struck down by an angel and died, reportedly eaten by worms. Would you like to know more about how his reign intersected with Roman rule or other biblical events? The text you provided frames the incident as a sign that equating vox populi, vox Dei, is ungodly, and this aligns with how the biblical account is being interpreted there. Key points. In Acts 12, the people's shout declaring Herod divine reflects a moment where popular opinion clashed with God's truth. Herod's subsequent judgment is presented as God's rejection of both the people's false praise and his acceptance of it. The interpretation emphasizes that human collective voice is not inherently divine when it exalts creation over the Creator or contradicts biblical principles. It is opposed to God's will. The text also notes that this concept has been linked to non-Christian contexts and can lead to conflict between groups like pagans, Jews, Christians, and Muslims. That said, interpretations can vary among biblical scholars. Some may focus more on Herod's pride than on making a broad statement about the vox populi idea itself. Would you like to explore how different Christian traditions view the relationship between popular will and divine authority? Yes, according to the biblical account and the interpretation in the provided text, Herod did not reject or redirect the glory to God. He wholeheartedly accepted it as his own, which led to his judgment. Key details. When the crowd shouted, "This is the voice of a God, not of a man," Acts 12:23 states Herod did not give praise to God. This indicates he took the honor for himself rather than acknowledging the true source of any authority or greatness he possessed. The text you shared also connects this to the danger of equating popular acclaim with divine approval, framing Herod's acceptance of the glory as a manifestation of pride and a rejection of God's sovereignty. While there's no mention of him viewing it as part of a magnificent century, the account emphasizes that his willingness to take divine-like praise for himself was the critical issue leading to his sudden death. Would you like to look into how historical sources like Josephus describe Herod Agrippa's reign and death to compare with the biblical narrative? There is no direct parallel to Acts 12:23 in the Quran that describes a figure being struck down for accepting divine praise. However, the Quran addresses similar themes of pride, rejecting God's sovereignty, and the consequences of attributing divine qualities to humans or creatures. Relevant verses. Surah An-Nahl, 16:22. Your God is one God. As for those who do not believe in the hereafter, their hearts are in denial and they are puffed up with pride. Surah Al-Baqarah 2-206. When he is told to have fear of Allah, he is seized by pride which drives him to wrongdoing. Hell will be enough for him. What an evil resting place. Surah An-Nisa 4-173. But as for those who are scornful and proud, he will give them severe punishment, and they will not find for themselves besides Allah any protector or helper. Surah Yunus 10:31. When people are reminded that Allah is the provider and ruler of all things, they are questioned, will you not then be afraid of Allah's punishment? These verses emphasize that arrogance and failing to acknowledge Allah as the sole source of all power and glory are condemned, and those who do so will face divine consequences, aligning with the core message of Acts 12:23 about the danger of exalting humans above God. Would you like to learn more about how Islamic teachings view the relationship between human authority and divine will? The saying, Vox Populli, Vox Dei, is not aligned with Islamic teachings, and the Quran addresses this through verses that emphasize divine authority over human opinion. Here are key passages. Surah Al-An'am 6-116. And if you obey most of those on earth, they will mislead you from the way of Allah. They follow nothing but conjecture, and they only guess. This verse directly counters the idea that majority opinion equals divine truth, stating that following the masses can lead to straying from Allah's path, as people often rely on speculation rather than revelation. Surah Al-Baqarah 2-142-143. The foolish among the people will ask, why did they turn away from the direction of prayer they used to face? Say, the east and west belong only to Allah. He guides whoever He wills to the straight path. We assigned your former direction of prayer only to distinguish those who would remain faithful to the messenger from those who would lose faith. It was certainly a difficult test except for those rightly guided by Allah. This highlights that divine guidance, not popular consensus, determines what is correct. The shift in the Qibla was a test to separate those who follow Allah from those who cling to tradition or majority practice. Related Islamic perspective. Scholars also clarify that equating people's will with Allah's will is incorrect, as stated in responses to such claims. Human desires and opinions vary widely, and Allah's will is only known through His revelation, not through collective human choice. Would you like to know more about how Islamic thought distinguishes between divine will and human authority in governance or social matters?